first, live, local. This is Fox 12 Now.
Hello, everyone. I'm Greg Nibbler. This is Fox 12 Now. Thank you for joining us today, wherever you're finding us. We do appreciate it. We're broadcasting live on YouTube, our apps, our website, and on Facebook. So thanks for finding us there as well. You know, we get to talk about a lot of things on this show, but I want to let you know that happening August 4th through August 6th at OMSI will be the Portland Festival of Cinema, Animation, and Technology, where they're going to showcase over 100 different animated films across all kinds of genres. But one event that's going to be happening there is featuring Bill Plympton, the legendary animator who was born and raised in Oregon. He has over 40 animated films. You've probably seen his work, even if you don't realize it. He has an Academy Award nomination. He did music videos for Kanye West and Madonna. He did a Taco Bell campaign. He worked on The Simpsons. I mean, all kinds of stuff. And I was able to sit down and talk to him while he was on vacation this morning via Zoom. He was on the Oregon coast, and I was able to catch up with him and talk to him about this event coming up and what it means to him. And one of the things I wanted to know was, with all these decades in animation, was there ever a moment when he was growing up, when he started drawing, where he knew this is what he wanted to do for his career? Was there something where, you know, the bell went off or the light went off or whatever it was? So that's how we start off the interview. We cover a lot of different topics on here, but we're going to go to that right now. So here it is, Bill Plympton on Fox 12 Now.
It was, I think, when I first saw Walt Disney cartoons on TV, and I thought it was so funny. It was a Goofy cartoon. I love Goofy. And I laughed so hard, and I said, boy, that's a great job to have, to make people laugh with your drawings. And I said, hey, I like to draw. Why don't I check that out? So it was really, I was 8 years old, I think, 7 years old, and I got this book by Preston Blair. It still sells now. It's a great book on how to make animation. And that when I got that book, I said, let me go. I want to be an animator. That's all I want.
And you just knew right then. That was it. There was no deviating from that.
No, never. My dad was a banker. Donald Plympton was his name, and he at a party he would always be making people laugh. And I said, God, I wish I could be a humorist like my dad. And I'm not good at telling jokes, but I am good at drawing jokes. And I figured that's my path to success.
What was the first thing that you ever published in any kind of paper or anything like that?
Well, I had stuff in grade school. You know, I did little cartoons, fun, really stupid cartoons. There's one cartoon where a guy was pouring a carton of milk in his glass and nothing came out. And then he read the label and said, oh, it's evaporated milk. You know, stupidest cartoon in the world. But for me, I thought that was funny.
That's still pretty funny, actually.
Yeah.
Well, you know, you went from there, obviously growing up here in Oregon too. I want to definitely touch on that. Was there?
Yes, I'd like to talk about that.
Yeah, let's talk about it. You know, was there anything specific about growing up in Oregon that you think shaped your view and how you went about your humor in animation?
Well, yeah, let me deal with that in a different way. And talk about the feature film. It's called Slide. We're just going to show clips from it. We can't show the whole film. It's not finished yet. But it really reverts back to my childhood in Oregon. I grew up in the hills of Oregon City, the lumber, the timber area, a lot of logging trucks driving by. And so this film takes place in a logging town in Oregon. And it's all about these guys who want to chop down trees and the corruption of the city they live in. Not the city, the village. It's called Sourdough Creek. Plus, my dad used to listen to a lot of country music on radio. Patsy Cline and Johnny Cash and Hank Williams, people like that. And so I put a lot of Hank Williams kind of music. I can't afford Hank Williams music per se, but there's a lot of slide guitar, and that's why the film's called Slide. And in fact, after listening to all those records, I became a slide guitar player. Now, I wasn't very good, but it was fun for me. We played bars and clubs in New York City, and we had a little bit of success, but I knew that it could never take over my animation. So I didn't really pursue a musical career, but it was fun, and it did influence this film a lot. It's a musical. I tell people that if Mel Brooks all of a sudden decided to be a cartoonist, this would be what he would make. It's totally Blazing Saddles gone crazy in animation.
That is a really good description right there of something that I think will get a lot of people in. Mel Brooks
Yeah.
did animation. This is
Yeah,
really
right. Who knows? Maybe he's a cartoonist. I never saw his cartoons. Who knows?
Well, I mean, that point of growing up in Oregon too, and experiencing that, with the forest and of course, the logging industry and all of that. I'm sure that's a huge influence, within there. Let's talk some more about that, about growing up in Oregon and just
Okay.
and how that obviously influenced this latest film. But even throughout your career, do you think that has an influence on there, or is this all just completely, something from your own?
Yeah, I think there's a special vibe here in Oregon with the misty, fog coming in and the rain and the constant rain, and it's sort of dark, and it's kind of a noir film. It's really dark. It's a dark film. There's a lot of bad guys in it. I love bad guys. My favorite thing to draw is a bad guy, and there's about 100 bad cowboys that are involved in this story. There's 2 good people. Everybody else is bad. And so for me, that was really the Oregon vibe of this darkness and this sort of noir quality that we have here in Oregon. Also, the whole idea of being independent. When I, growing up in Oregon, there's a certain independence that you can, you survive by yourself. And so I never was able to, even though I love Disney cartoons, I never was able to go to Hollywood and actually work in a big studio. For me, I like doing my own ideas, my own cartoons. In fact, once I got nominated for an Oscar with a film called Your Face, Disney studio called me, and they sent a lawyer to my office in New York and saying, "We want to give you $1 million to come out and work for Disney." And I go, "Wow, this is great. This is what my dream was as a kid." But I asked him, "Well, can I still make my weird short films on the weekend?" He said, "Yeah, you can do that, but Disney will own those." And I just right there, I said, I think I'm selling my soul here. I just don't think this is the right studio for me. And by that time, I was doing pretty well. I was doing a lot of commercials, working for MTV and the tournée of animation. And so I really didn't need to work for Disney. I could make my own films the way I want to make them. And I think you see that here in Portland. There's so many animation studios here. It's crazy what's going on with Laika and the Pinocchio film by Guillermo del Toro and stuff like that going on here. It's a whole independent scene up here, people making their own films. And that's why I love coming back here and visiting my animator friends here in Oregon.
Wow. I mean, just to be able to sit there, that's a testament too of your independence and how good you were, that you could have Disney sitting there saying, "Here's money," and be like, "Nah, I'm good."
Yeah. Well, I tell people that every morning when I wake up, I go to my drawing board and I draw whatever the hell I want. And nobody's there to say, "Nope, you can't draw that." To me, that's worth more than $1 million. And to be independent is just so, it's so life affirming, and it releases my creative juices. I can do anything I want, and nobody's going to say, "You can't do that."
Well, I mean, and looking, at your career and all those things you've done, you mentioned, MTV and all the commercial work. Is there any one thing that stands out to you over some of the other things that you've done? I mean, I know that's kind of a hard question to answer, but in that realm, maybe some highlights that really stood out to you?
Yeah. I think the most important film in my career is a film called Your Face, which got nominated for an Oscar. But you have to remember, this was done when I was about 38. I was for 15 years, I was an illustrator and political cartoonist, and I wasn't able to get an animation till later in my life. So one of the things that is going on now is I'm trying to make up for all that 15 years that I lost being an animator. So I produced 9 animated feature films, about 100 shorts, maybe 100 commercials. I've been really cranking it out, really drawing every day, drawing a lot. And for me, it's very pleasant. It's something that I love to do. And even while I'm out here in Oregon, I'm in Manzanita right now. I'm still drawing. I'm working on a film, So it's just something that I tell young students when I lecture. I say, if you love drawing, well, you should be an animator. And that's all you do all day long is draw, draw, draw. And it's just, it gets me high. That's how I get high these days, is doing a weird drawing, something that's totally bizarre, something no one's ever seen before. I want to make films that are totally unique. I don't want to be anime or Disney or Pixar. I want to make Bill Plympton films. And so I tell people, make your own films, make your own ideas, make your own visions.
Well, I mean,
and that's what I'm trying to do.
You certainly have done that throughout your entire career. I mean, when you see a Bill Plympton drawing, you know that that's you. It's a Bill Plympton drawing when you see one, and because it is so unique, because it's something that you do, and I think that's incredible. That still, going there, starting off when you were a kid, when you started doing it, drawing to make people laugh, and because you enjoyed it, and now still today you wake up and you're still doing it.
I'm still doing it. Yeah,
still gets you high. That's awesome.
That's true. That's true. Well, you must mention that for the screening I'm having at OMSI, everybody who comes gets a little sketch. I will do a sketch on my postcard for them for free. And then also I will be offering original drawings from Your Face, the film that I mentioned, How to Kiss, some of my classics, and The Simpsons. I've been doing a lot of Simpsons couch gag cartoons. So I'll be showing those films and offering those for sale too. So this is how I remain independent. I know it sounds like real crass and everything, but I love spreading these drawings out so people can take them home and put them on their wall. And also it helps fund my next film. So it works both ways.
That's absolutely the independent spirit. That's
the independent spirit.
That's the Oregon hustle,
Yeah.
Hustle. So many of us here in Portland have done that or do that. One other thing I wanted to ask you, because you mentioned, when you do lectures and your career in animation, and since this thing is a festival of that, and I know they've got a bunch of different kinds of animation going on there. Right. How do you feel about that as far as all these changes that have happened in animation and the directions that it's gone?
Yeah, I think it's wonderful. It's really a rebirth. I think this is the second golden age of animation. As you know, the first one was Disney and Warner Brothers and Fleischer Brothers cartoons. Now we got Pixar and Disney and DreamWorks and a lot of independents. People are like me are sitting at home making feature films by themselves. I mean, that's just amazing. That's hard to imagine that people can make a feature film by themselves. But because of the new technology, and you mentioned that, there's a total freedom now to make whatever you want to make, whatever kind of films you want to make. And I think this screening will show you all the different techniques you can use, whether it's claymation or stop motion or computer animation. Just so many options. So now is a good time to be an animator. I wish I was 20 right now, because there's so many options, ways to make a movie. When I started out, it was just that one way, the Disney way. And I'm still doing it that way. Actually, I'm still drawing on paper and scanning and then coloring, digital coloring. So it's kind of old-fashioned way.
How long does that take? Like say for a slide?
Well, slide's a weird example because it was right in the middle of the COVID epidemic. So a lot of my income dried up. All the movie theaters shut down, the schools shut down, the film festival circuit shut down. So I had to do a lot of music videos. I did a music video for Kanye West and Madonna and a bunch of people. So I did music videos to keep the studio going. But this one took 7 years. Usually they takes about 3 years to do a feature. And I do every drawing myself. You look on the screen and every drawing you see is created by me. And that's the way I like it. I like doing all the drawings. So I can do maybe 15 seconds a day in animation. And that's pretty fast for an animated film.
That's impressive, but man, I can't even imagine. Good. Every single drawing is yours.
Yeah, every single drawing, and there are a lot of detail too. When you see it, you'll say all that cross hatching and all the shading and all the detail. It's really work intensive, but again, for me, it's bliss. It's really a pleasant thing to do.
Yeah, that's just so awesome. This is, that again, that's going back to that you knew your calling and you're doing it and you're still loving it so much.
Yeah.
You obviously have such an amazing career, still making amazing things, and that's just so cool. Well, for people who are going to the festival too, are going to go to see your event, what can they expect when they come in to see Bill Plympton talk?
Well, there's a couple of things. Apparently, there's going to be a panel on independent filmmaking. Joanna Priestley, I believe, is going to be on it. A few other famous Oregon celebrity animators. I'll be part of that. So I'll be talking about being independent. Then I'll be doing a screening of all my shorts. Not all my shorts, sorry, but my selected shorts. The shorts
that'd be a long show.
Yeah, that'd be a very long show. And then I'm going to talk about Slide. I'm going to show some clips from Slide, and I'll talk about how I got the idea, how I got the concept, what I'm trying to do with it, technically how I made it. So it's going to be a fascinating presentation. And I'm really glad this festival is working here in Portland, because there's such a great audience for this kind of filmmaking and this kind of animation. And I think that Portland is sort of the second Hollywood up here for animation. It's just amazing what's going on.
Wow, that's all the more reason to go out and see, what all these people are working on, to go see your event, go see Slide, and then your presentation on Slide anyway, and then everything else that's happening there. For Slide though, now I have to ask, because you've really sold me. I really want to see it. When will the full film come out, or do you have a date?
Well, here's the plan. It's sort of what I always do. The film should be done by the end of August. And we're going to do the festival circuit. We're going to try and get in Telluride and Toronto and some of the big festivals, try and get nominated for an Oscar like Guillermo del Toro. And then we'll be picked up by a distributor, and they decide when to release the film. We haven't even shown it to anybody because it's like this close to being done, but I don't want to show a lot of bad stuff, bad art, and bad storytelling. So hopefully we'll get a nice distribution deal, and I can come out here to Portland in the winter and present the film at Cinema 21 or some cinema like that. That would be lovely. That'd be wonderful.
That would be fantastic. Yes, please, please do so as soon as that's possible.
I sure will. I'll let you know when I'm back in town. I will let you know, definitely.
Please do. Yes, I will 100% be there. And Bill,
okay, Greg, it's a deal.
Done. Yeah, I'm going to hold you to that. Well, Bill, I just want to say thank you for taking time too. I know, you are busy. You got a lot going on, and to take some time to talk to me for this show, I just really appreciate it.
No, it's my pleasure. It's really important that people come see all this great animation.
Yeah, well, we're going to get the word out for that. Anything else that you want to let people know too, who are going to be coming out there?
Oh, I should.
I threw you on the spot there with that.
Noteworthy. This is the OMSI thing is the big thing.
Yeah. Come out to the festival and go see Bill. Bill, thank you very, very much for sitting down and talking to me about this.
My pleasure.
So excited for you and everything that you've done, and to see all of this stuff, and go there and get a personal Bill Plympton drawing. I mean, he just offered
exactly. Yeah, get a real sketch from Bill Plympton. It's probably not worth a lot because I've done these 1,000 times, but it's fun to have put on your fridge or something like that.
It's worth a lot. It's great.
Okay.
Right. Bill, thank you so much.
You bet. Have a good day.
All right, there we go. Bill Plympton right here on Fox 12 Now. Super cool to talk to him, find out about everything that he's got going on there. And I appreciate everybody who's tuning in right now to Fox 12 Now. We are live streaming all over the place, and I want to just remind you of that for not only this show, but coming up here, of course, I want to let you know about World Cup, because it is happening. And Team USA is actually playing, kicking off tomorrow at 6 p.m. right on Fox 12. So because of that, we won't have our regular news broadcasts at 4, 5, and 6 o'clock. but instead you can watch them streaming live. So we'll be streaming live at 6 p.m. and 10 p.m. on kptv.com and anywhere else that you stream Fox 12, as you see right there. That's Roku, Apple TV, Fire TV, of course, our Fox 12 Oregon app. That's a great way to watch it. So definitely keep that in mind for tomorrow. So that's Friday, July 21st, depending on when you are watching this. Go there and stream that. And what I want you to do is come right back here in less than 10 minutes or so, because Eric G. from Around the House Northwest is going to be joining us. He's going to be talking about how to protect your home from fires. There's a lot of fires happening. I'm sure you've noticed that. You need to protect your home. So he's going to walk through some tips and tricks about that, also some things about the foundation, and a preview of this week's episode. So all that's coming up here in just a few minutes. So wherever you're watching us right now, just hop right back on here and join me then. And I'll talk to you in just a few minutes. All right. Thanks for watching. I'm Greg Nibbler. This is Fox 12 Now.